Hey, it's Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures, and today it's a car DIY project on my 2023 Ford Maverick XL Hybrid. I have the absolute base model with just a few little enhancements I've made over the past year, but one of the things I'm desperately trying to do is keep this truck in as great of shape as I can, even though admittedly I do kind of beat it up quite a bit. I use this for my small business. In fact, I'm up here at Jason and Jack's right now, and I don't always treat the inside probably with the utmost care. I have a really cheap seat cover on the front seat, and it's just not performing as well as I want. And I've been fortunate enough to partner with Cutim, who has developed seat covers that will actually go over the seat, front seats and back seats, and they sent me them to test. So let's go ahead and unpackage them, look at them, and I'm going to show you why I'm going to be installing these and ultimately the final review of them installed. This will be a step-by-step. It will show you everything you need to know. Let's go. Now, generally in this Ford Maverick, there would be a car seat in the back, or a booster seat, I should say, for my 7-year-old. This truck takes an absolute beating from him with snacks and everything when I haul him to and from school. On top of that, I am just constantly throwing stuff in the back seat. In fact, right here, it's wet for some reason. But this has worked. It's just a little pet hammock, but you can see just all of the crud on there. And what I don't particularly like about this is it gets a little bit shuffled as I drive and throw stuff in and out. And when I fold the seat up, it doesn't fold up as tight as I would like. So if I go in here and I actually want to bring the bucket seat up, this kind of just gets everywhere. And then I got to be really careful when I shove it down. So this has served its purpose. It hasn't been a problem. It's just, in my opinion, not most ideal for what I want. So if we take a closer look, you see exactly what I mean. Just all kinds of grime. But 21,000 miles, and a year later, it's did a good job. But I just need to make sure it continues to do a good job. No cover on this seat at all. Nobody really sits here. And on the other side, you can see that I have one of the $19 specials off of Amazon, which has done a okay job, but I feel like it could be much better. So I'm going to go ahead and install the new ones. And the new ones are right here. These are the seat covers. You can see it's pretty much going to squeeze through and connect underneath, kind of like how that other one is connected. And that will slide in the side. And they give you all of the clips and such to connect it. So these little metal tabs, or what we'll use to kind of keep this secured when you go about it. So I have all of the seat bottoms, 1, 2 for the front, plus the seat backs, 1, 2 for the front. The headrest, all 4. I think these are the front seat, these are the back seat. The bench in the back, as well as the bench backing. Sorry, the bench back here in the back seat and the bench bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start on the passenger side, and then we will do the driver's side. It will be the same process. And then we would tackle the back seat. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tackle this seat. This should absolutely be the easiest, in terms of putting it on. First, I'm going to want to take out the headrest. I will install that last. I will put the headrest cover back here. I have my plastic clips that I'll be using for the seat bottom. And then in terms of putting the actual back one on, you have the cutout where you can put stuff. This literally is just going to slide over, and it looks like it has some Velcro here to actually get a nice bite on it. So I'm going to move the seat all the way up just to make my life a little easier. I've never did one of these before, so you're seeing it first time. My reaction is, this definitely is not leather. You know, it's pleather. You know, maybe we can call it vegan leather like we do with Teslas. I don't know. But it seems like the sewing seams inside are good. I don't see anything really ragged. It's thicker, frankly, than I expected. I think that's a good thing. I had ones years ago, not like these. It was just like a cover on a bench seat of a pickup truck, and it felt so darn thin. So my initial reaction is the quality doesn't seem too bad. I got black, obviously, because the current car is black. And then I suspect this is going to slide up under this gap here and then Velcro on the other side. That's what I believe is going to happen. So I'm just kind of fitting it over and sliding it down. So I stand corrected on this. I thought it was going to feed through the seat, but it's not going to feed through and connect. What it's going to do is, it is going to, this Velcro is basically going to stick inside here when you shove it into the back of the seat, it seems, unless maybe it hooks. I don't think it's going to Velcro to this at all. No, then that's going to basically go like that. So what you want to do is really work it in there as good as you can. So it definitely seems like there's a little extra material here. I suspect, though, that is probably so that way when you sit, it will eventually work in. It fits really snug on the sides. So I'm just going in the back and giving it a nice little tug here. It's very secure and nice on the back, and it's not too bad on the front. It's just, it seems like there's a little bit of extra that I want to work into the seat here. Yeah, so that looks better. It's kind of hard to really get this in. You really got to take your fingers and work it in there. So this is about as tight as I can get it. And you can see it's really good on the sides, but there's a little bit more fabric down here. However, you can kind of reach your hand in the back here and pull it down. And you can see, I mean, it goes over these cutouts really good without any issues. So I would say the overall fit and such is there. And when I go and sit down, it definitely seems to make it a little more form fitting. So like when I sit down here, it doesn't feel like it's pulling or doing anything that could really hurt the seat. And you can see it basically just works itself down in there. These are seat covers, everybody. It's not replacement cloth. It's going to have some looseness to it. Now let's work on putting the bottom on. Okay, so this will be the bottom. And you're going to want to basically use these little stretchy things to find stuff under the seat to hook it to. And there's some holes here that you can hook it to. I'm filling. And I'm just going to want to kind of lay it on here initially. And then I'm going to have to go up underneath and find some places. This is a step you do want to be kind of careful on, because you don't want to hook it to something that's moving. And what I mean by that is something that, you know, when you slide the seat up and down, it's going to potentially jolt out. So when I said I got one, that's what I mean. You can pull it through, and that really gives you a nice way to pull that through, and then you can secure the little plastic thing up, and they don't even use a clip. Okay, so I'm having to get a bit creative here, and it's like 95 degrees outside, and I don't have the fans running in here because they're so loud, so I'm trying to not have sweat drip everywhere on me. But in any event, I've ran just a wooden measuring stick, because that's what I had, through here to get a pull wire, so I can pull this wire up, tie it to this, and then pull that back through to secure it. Because this is so tight, I can't get my fingers all the way through and pull it down to reach it. Let me pull it through and I'll show you the end. So now I have this wire pulled through, so I can tie it to this and then pull this through the bottom. And I'm just using materials I have lying around the shop, but you can see I've tied it, so I'll be able to pull this through just by going like so. And when you do it, you know, pull back the pressure just a little bit. I'm gonna need both hands to do it. So you can see I now pulled this through, so that's gonna allow me to hook it under here, and it's gonna help keep that side down and nice and secure. So just a little tip when you go about doing that. So now that I have the side hooked in, I'm going to go ahead and secure the front, and I just tie that little stretchy around it. So if you look under the seat, there's that bar right there in the back, and this bar ultimately is what I'm going to hook it to. So that center column bar, if you can see it. And you're going to just take that thing that's dangling there and hook to it. You don't want to hook it to this, because that's the adjustment for the seat. You want to go on the center bar in the back. I don't know how much of that you can see, but you can see where my little clamps are under there. This guy right here, that guy right there, and that guy right there. And then on the side, I went down the side and just hooked it to whatever I felt like my hand could get on, because it's so tight over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the headrest back. I would say when you do the front seat, it's going to be a bit of a learning process for you, because you're going to have to figure out what's the best path to do everything. But this should be a breeze, this. I don't think this is going to be any issue at all. It has that Velcro too, so that's probably going to go up and under and then Velcro back in. So hold the Velcro straps down. Take the headrest and shove it in there. So shove the headrest in, and then I take this Velcro and basically go up, push it up, and then pull that headrest down on it, push the Velcro up, and pull the headrest down on it. I'm wondering if I got the wrong size. That looks like a little more fabric. Let's take a peek at the back ones real quick. And that would be way too big for the back ones. So the fabric on the headrest seem a little more janky. Seems like you get a little bit more in here than I would expect. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It doesn't look terrible, I suppose. Just a little fat on the sides here. And then you just put your headrest right back in. And you're going to have to make sure that you align the little holes up on the seat cover. You know, to get the headrest in. So the hole is going to seem like it's bigger, but I think it's like that because you got to be able to still put your finger in to adjust it if you want to take this headrest out. See how I just put my finger in to adjust it? If the hole was a perfect size, it wouldn't give you any room to adjust that headrest. I was wondering why the hole, I wasn't thinking about that initially, but I was wondering why the hole seemed bigger. You know, it doesn't seem too bad. Did I put that headrest in wrong? No. This headrest isn't right. They definitely tilt up. So you can see, I mean, it looks pretty dang good for a relatively quick DIY job. I'm not thrilled about the headrest. But that is how the headrest goes. You can see I sat in it, nothing bad happened. That's my sweat touching it. What do you think? Okay, so I had the front seats done. It was so much quicker doing the driver's side because I kind of knew what I was doing. The only thing I would say that could use some improvement is the headrest. It just seems like where it should be rounded, it's a little too square, so you get a little bit of that jankiness going on. The seat back seems to fit pretty good. A little bit of extra fluff down here, but nothing significant. The seat fits really tight and nice. So that is what it looks like. From a comfort perspective, it's fall. I'm not going to know how these would be in really, really hot weather. It's hot today, which is odd, but it's going to be cooling off, and it will be in like the 80s in a couple weeks. So I guess time would tell on how they feel next summer. So let's go ahead and tackle the back. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, pull the headrest out. They give you 3 headrests, so you get the little tiny one in the middle, plus I'll get the big ones. So pull this down, headrest 1 out, headrest 2 out, and I'll get 3 here on the other side. Okay, so this is going to have to feed like under the seat belt. And what I mean by that is I'm going to basically have to put it on. What I mean by that is you're going to have to kind of, you know, slide it up and under and then pull the seat down. It has the cutout for a armrest console, which I do not have. So that would just remain static because I do not have an armrest that comes down in mine. But the issue I'm seeing is it has the cutouts for the holes, but I do not see a cutout for the guy to unlatch this to fold the seat down. So I'm gonna have to think about that, and you know, I think I'm gonna have to put a little incision or something. I'm gonna install this and then see, but I think there might be a case where I'll just put a little tiny hole and hook a zip tie to that so I can at least pull it through. That is feedback I absolutely need to give them, because you don't want to lose functionality to put this down, because then you can't get the items like your jack and stuff for the spare tire. I realize this view is less than ideal, but there was really no way for me to show you as I'm doing this easily. Okay, so the back seat ones are going in kind of okay. The holes on this side line up perfectly But once you start getting to the other side, the hole is way off. So it is going to be, this is the second hole. This is the first hole. And the second hole should be right about here. And you can see that it's just randomly here where there's nothing. I suspect maybe they have that hole for that, but it's like there's no hole for the other guy right here, because that does fit, but it's missing a hole. So, and you can see it ripped right here when I was installing it, which is disappointing because I was trying to force it where those holes are. It will be okay when the headrest is on, but they've got the two holes. I assume they intended this to be to pull the seat out, and they neglected to put another hole here. And there's no cutout for this to latch into the back to secure the seat. I'm just gonna slam it, and then I'm just gonna cut it out myself, and I'm gonna roll with this. But this is a prototype, so I'm gonna give them some feedback. The next step is to put those plastic things on, shove them in the seats, and I should be good. And hook, of course, underneath like we did in the front. Okay, so it seems like they got a lot of work to do on the back seat here. I am 2,000% positive these are the proper headrest covers for the front. The back ones, I mean, I've been stretching these things to a point where I think they're gonna rip. They do not fit. So the headrest covers in the back do not fit. So you're missing a hole, and they don't fit. But it doesn't look terrible with, you know, what I have so far. But again, they're gonna wanna perfect this before people start buying these things. Okay, I have them installed in the 2023 Ford Maverick XL Hybrid, and I'm gonna cut to the chase. I don't think these are ready for prime time quite yet, mainly because of the back seat. Let's take a peek. So the front seats look pretty darn good. I think they installed exactly how I would have wanted them to. And I have to be honest with you, I like how they look, minus the extra fluff in the headrest, but at least they fit here in the front. But you can see a really nice firm fit on the seat cushion. The back is pretty firm. When it gets a little bit janky here, but again, I think that's somewhat by design, so it can free-form fit into the curvature here. They seem like they're gonna be of decent quality. I'm gonna see how they do over the next couple months and few thousand miles of driving. The back seat is where a lot of improvement is needed. First, it just didn't fit that tight. I really moved these, and I think this is for a cutout if you have it. I don't have that in mine, but at least it will let you reach the pool. But they have a hole here for the pool, and I hooked it to a zip tie to give me some extra length. But the first big issue is they did not anticipate a hole for the latch. I cut this hole myself so the seat would actually latch. They also were missing a hole right here. I had to cut through it and make a hole. So you have a hole, there should be a hole here. I had to cut it and make it. These barely lined up, and it actually ripped the right one because it was so tight. But the seat cushion actually seems pretty darn good. Most of the work, I think, has to be here. And I'm gonna keep it in because I do wanna give these a test. These will be tested by my 7-year-old going to and from school. So overall, I'm pumped up I was able to test these and give feedback, because us Ford Maverick drivers, we want to make sure that when we buy a product, it works. I would tell you how they do over time, and I anticipate they'll probably send me the final version of it once they fix those two little tiny adjustments that they need. Again, these are seat covers, not replacement fabric, not replacement leather, so they're not going to fit incredibly snug, but they'll be pretty darn snug. Thanks for watching. This is Jason with jamzDOTnet. Be sure to give me a subscribe on YouTube and check out all the Ford Maverick content that we have.